Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? He has a different shirt on today. It was one of my t-shirts that I had up in my closet from like 2 years ago when we went on some vacation somewhere, and I had it up there. And I don't know if I've ever worn it or if I wore it like one time on vacation, cleaned it and put it back up there. But tonight, I actually had my hair done and everything earlier. We went out to dinner with Melissa and Jason, and I wanted to look a little cute tonight. So, well, you can't see my hair did look nice earlier, but anyway. So I put on a different t-shirt tonight. So I always wear black. I always wear black t-shirts, black polo shirts, unless I wear like a button down. I was actually tonight online, and I was like looking at sneakers, which of course I don't need, but I don't really care. And my husband has, I swear to God, 20 pairs of Chelsea boots. And I used to wear sneakers like all the time. That was like my thing, kind of. I mean, not my thing, but. And I kind of got out of it. I went through like a year where all I wore were Sperry's in the winter time. In the summer, I always wear Birkenstocks. So I was online tonight looking at all these really cool Air Max 90s. So there's like 2 pairs I think I might get. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking of like fall. And then I was looking at, there's a Patagonia vest I want. And then there's not a specific North Face jacket, but I left my North Face jacket in LA last year, so I need to get another one. Because it's starting to get cold here in the evenings. So I'm gonna need a jacket sooner or later. I think I'm gonna actually go though when I get the Patagonia vest and the North Face jacket. I know how completely basic, right? North Face and Patagonia, but I don't care. I want to wear like a lot of flannels and cords this fall with like a Patagonia vest and then cute sneakers. That's going to be kind of my style this fall, I think. I had fun going out to dinner tonight and getting kind of like, you know, taking a shower and I always take a shower, but, you know, looking cute. It was kind of fun just going out to having a little dinner date. We hadn't done that since we went to Patashu the other day, but we hadn't done that since we got back from Las Vegas. We had fun like sitting with Melissa and Jason and kind of just having a little double date. And we actually do that a lot in the fall. So, yeah. Tomorrow night, Alex has this thing that he's going to. He's going to like a soft restaurant opening. He has a friend of his whose dad owns a restaurant, or owns a restaurant chain here. Not chain, but like several restaurants in Indianapolis. So he's going with her to like the soft opening of the restaurant. And, I don't have anything to do tomorrow night, so I'm thinking about dedicating tomorrow night to getting the closet done. Or like getting started, a big part of the closet, because I've been putting that off for days. And then Friday night we have Alex's grandma. It's her 89th birthday. So we have her birthday party on Friday night. And then, I'm gonna sneeze. Thank you. And then Saturday, Alex has meetings during the day, and then he is going with his friend to be her date for a wedding. Somebody that they went to high school with. Not Sarah, this is his other friend, Amy. So he's going with her on Saturday night. So he's gonna be gone all day Saturday, and then Sunday we're hanging out together. But I was sitting at dinner tonight, and Melissa was like, well, what are you doing this weekend? And Alex was like, well, I have this wedding to go to and whatever. And she was like, well, what do you have to do? And I was like, I don't really have anything. And she's like, you know, Whorehound Festival is in town this weekend. And I was like, what? Now, I have wanted to go to Whorehound Festival for like the last 3 years. Well, maybe it was the last, I don't know. It was Cincinnati one time I wanted to go, and Melissa and Aaron went. And then last year when it was in Indianapolis, I couldn't go because we were actually in Las Vegas for our anniversary, because we were there a week later. I think last year we went like the day before our anniversary, and then we stayed the week after, is what we did last year. I don't know. So anyway, but I really, really want to go to Whorehound Festival this weekend. So if you don't know what Whorehound Festival is, Whorehound is a magazine, apparently, that talks a lot about horror movies and all this kind of stuff. And so it is like all of these people that have been in like scary movies and the franchise, and they're all there. And they do like panels, and they walk around, and you can go up to their booths and you can get your picture with them. And all stuff. Now, if I go, I'm gonna do a video on my main channel, and I'm also gonna do a video on my vlog channel. I like wanna go so bad, you guys. I don't know if tickets are sold out. I was on the website earlier today. I couldn't really understand. So, I'm gonna look into it tomorrow, because we didn't get home until we got home from dinner late, and then Alex and I just kind of, we hung out a little bit, and then he went to bed, and then I fell asleep with him, and then I woke up, and then I was looking at shoes online, so I didn't get a chance to do it. But tomorrow, I'm gonna look and see if I can get a ticket. Melissa and Jason are only going on Saturday. So if I go, I guess it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if I go, I will probably just go Saturday. They said that it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year. I will pull up for a second everybody that's going to be there. I was reading it to Tanya on the phone. We were like laughing because who she knew and who I knew were like two completely different people. Like Elvira will be there. Oh my God, Elvira! Neve Campbell from the Scream series. There's like a lot of people there from the Scream and the Craft. So like Neve Campbell will be there because she was in all of the Scream movies. She's like the big star, I think, that's going to be there this weekend. But she was also in The Craft, remember? Wasn't Neve Campbell in The Craft? No, Neve Campbell was. Oh, yes, she was in The Craft. So there's like 3 of the girls that are from The Craft. Fairuza Balk is not there, but I wish she was. Okay. Horror Hound Festival. There's like people there from American Horror Story. My allergies are kicking in big time already. Okay, these are the people that are there. Well, Henry Rollins is doing a concert on Friday night. Can you even believe it? I might go to that. An evening with Henry Rollins Friday night event. Autographs. Oh my God. Okay. So, order your pro photo ops. Click here. So, Patrick Wilson, okay, who is in The Conjuring, Insidious, Aquaman, Fargo, Prometheus, Watchmen, The Nun, Phantom of the Opera, Hard Candy. He will be there. This is him. Oh, I'm not going to be able to show this. And then, oh my God, okay. Carla Gugino will be there. She was in Watchmen, The Haunting of Hill House, Gerald's Game, Jet, Spy Kids, Sucker Punch, San Andreas, Son-in-Law. Okay, Sin City. The one thing it doesn't say that she was in, though, which is like my all-time favorite Christmas movie besides Smoky Mountain Christmas, is Season of Miracles. That was like one of her first movies. I love it. Justin Long, he was the guy in the original Jeepers Creepers. Remember that? The Jeepers Creepers van is there, you guys. Okay, and then Neve Campbell, we already know who she is. And then James Marsters, he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Runaways, Angel, Caprica, Vidiots, Dragon Ball, Smallville, and Torchwood. And then Elvira, Cassandra Peterson. Rose McGowan is going to be there, you guys, from Scream, Charmed. She was in Jawbreaker. That's my favorite movie of hers. Okay. And then Matthew Lillard, who played one of the killers in Scream. He was in Scream 1. Do you guys remember him? And he was also in Scooby-Doo, 13 Ghosts, Serial Mom, Twin Peaks. I don't remember him in Twin Peaks. Was he in the movie? I don't know. And then Tobin Bell, who was in the Saw. He was the serial killer in Saw. He will be there. And Jackie Earl Haley. It looks like he was a Jeepers Creepers guy. No, it doesn't show him as a Jeepers Creepers guy. Watchmen, Nightmare on Elm Street, Preacher, Dark Shadows, TikTok, Breaking Away. Oh, it tells when they're going to be there. Is Neve Campbell going to be there all weekend? Rose McGowan all weekend. Nev Campbell's going to be there all weekend. I wonder where they're staying. Oh my God. Lynn Shay, Insidious, Ouija, New Nightmare, Kingpin, Nightmare on Elm Street. She was, okay, so there's something about Mary. Do you guys remember her? She was a neighbor in Something About Mary. Okay. Doug Jones, Hocus Pocus, The Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, Star Trek, Discovery, Crimson Creek. Guys, I'm getting so excited. David Arquette! He was in Scream. We already know who David Arquette was. Will he be there all weekend? Appearing all weekend. And then Jennifer Carpenter. She was in Dexter, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Quarantine, The Enemy Within, Gone, and Brawl in Cell Block 99. Tom Hopper, The Umbrella Academy, Game of Thrones, Black Sails, Merlin, Knights of... Okay. Robin Tooney, she was the main girl in The Craft. She was in The Craft, The Mentalist, The Fix, Paparazzi, Empire Records, End of Days. Well, she'll be there all weekend, appearing all weekend. Okay, Malin Ackerman, Watchmen, The Final Girls. The Final Girls, is that the book that I read? I wonder if it's out already. Couples Retreat, Billions, Rampage, 27 Dresses, Children's Hospital. She'll be there Saturday and Sunday only. Okay, Shawnee Smith. Now, Shawnee Smith was this actress that I absolutely loved back in the day. She was in the Saw films, you know, but she was, I remember her from like the 80s too. Saw film series, The Blob, The Stand, Summer School, Anger Management, Who's Harry Crumb, and The Island. And she's there all weekend. Okay. And then Stephen Ogg, The Walking Dead. He played Simon. He Never Died, Soulless, A Tick Westward. Okay. Scott Patterson, Saw film series. I don't know who that is. Theo Rossi. He doesn't look familiar to me. Sons of Anarchy, Cloverfield, Red Sands, Luke, Lowrider. Are you ready? Jamie Kennedy from Scream. Tremors, Cold Day in Hell. Okay, Most Wanted. He will be there all weekend. Bonnie Aarons, who played the nun in The Nun. The Conjuring 2, Mulholland Drive, The Fighter. Okay, will she be there all weekend? She will. Okay. Elizabeth Berkley from Showgirls and Saved by the Bell, you guys. Oh my God. She's there all weekend. Shannon Elizabeth. Okay, that was in Scary Movie, 13 Ghosts, Curse, Night of the Demons, American Pie, Jay and Silent Bob. She's there all weekend. Sean Patrick Flannery, The Boondock Saints, The Dead Zone, Powder. How do I know him? Okay, Mary Lynn Radskop, 24, Helter Skelter, Little Miss Sunshine, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know her, but I don't watch any of those shows. Okay. Oh, yeah, I do. Henry Thomas from E.T., you guys. Oh, my God. Okay. Barbara Steele, she was in Black Sunday, all these old movies. Castle of Blood, Piranha, the horrible Dr. Hitchcock. Okay. John Carroll Lynch. Here, I'll show you who he played if you watched American Horror Story. He played, can you see? He played the clown in American Horror Story. Twisty the Clown. He was in Zodiac, Fargo, The Founder, The Walking Dead, and Channel Zero. Christy Swanson, oh my God! Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Deadly Friend, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Flowers in the Attic, and The Phantom. Did you guys know that the entire Heaven series is on Lifetime and it was a movie series that they made with Jason Priestley? Okay. Rachel True, she was the other girl that was in The Craft. The Craft, Half Bake, CB4, Limelight, Horror Noir, Grove, Half and Half, Sharknado 2, Embrace, okay, I don't know who that is. John 5, I don't know who that is. Guitarist, John 5 and the Creatures, and Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie's gonna be there? Oh, that can't be possible. Mark Holton. I don't know anything that he's been in. Teen Wolf. Gacy. Oh, he played Gacy in Gacy? Okay. Radha Mitchell. She was in Silent Hill, The Crazies, Man on Fire. Gina Phillips. So Gina Phillips was his sister in Jeepers Creepers. She was in Dead and Breakfast, Love and Debate, Ally McBeal. And then Jodie Amge was in American Horror Story Freak Show. And she's the world's smallest woman. Erica Irvin, Amazon Eve. She's American Horror Story Freak Show and Apocalypse. Who else? Dinah Meyer. She was in the Saw film series, Starship Troopers, Piranha 3D, Birds of Prey. Kate Segal, not from Married with Children. This one was in The Haunting of Hill House, Ouija Board, Ouija, The Origin of Evil, all these different movies. Okay. Oculus, Hush, Gerald's Game. Larry Bagby. Oh my God. Do you guys remember, what was that movie? Does it have it on here? Hocus Pocus, Walk the Line. Okay, so do you remember the two guys that were like mean in Hocus Pocus? He played the shorter guy. Let's see if I can pull this up. Can you see? You can't see. It doesn't work. Anyway. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Jag. Okay. And then Tobias Jelniak. Oh, he was the other one with the long blonde hair in Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus, Baskets, Arrow, Stranger Things. Who does he play in Stranger Things? American Women, Batman and Robin. Greg Sestero, The Room, Retro Puppet Master, Carla Harvey, who was in Butcher Baby. I guess that's the only thing she was in, because that's the only thing it shows of her being in. Scott Ian, Anthrax, The Walking Dead. No, he's not in Anthrax, the band, is he? There's like all Married with Children. Who is he? I've never seen him before. All these police officers are pulling in the gas station. They're just like tearing in here. Charlie Benanti, Anthrax. These must be members of Anthrax. Metal Head to Head, The Shark Is Still Working, Stormtroopers at Death, and Married with Children. Alessandra SOO, Starry Eyes, Tales of Halloween, The Neighbor. So Jamie Lee Curtis was the big one last year. I'm so pissed I missed that. Sarah Douglas. Oh my God, do you remember in Superman 2, the one woman that was real mean? That was her. Conan the Destroyer, Return of the Living Dead, Supergirl, Solar Babies. Oh my God. Steve Rail's back, Helter Skelter, Ed Gein, Devil's Rejects, The Stuntman, X-Files, Turkey Shoot, Supernatural, Joseph Whip, Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, Deadly Games, Escape from Alcatraz. Okay. Elise Neal, Scream 2. She was in the very opening scene. Hustle and Flow, The Huleys, K-ville, Logan, Sequest, Rosewood, Tragedy Girls. Butch Patrick, he was Eddie Munster in The Munsters. And he was in Scary Movie. Tony Cesare, he was a stuntman in Scream. He was a stuntman in Armageddon, Terminator, House, and Nightmare on Elm Street, The Thing, and Ghostbusters. Christine the car is going to be there. The Jeepers Creepers truck is going to be there. And then there's more guests that are coming soon. Tickets. Okay, wait. Saturday. Weekend premiere, the VIP package. See, it's all sold out. Damn it. Friday, single day. Saturday, single day. Sunday, single day. Pre-sale. Well, the weekend past 3 days, still it's $60. I'll have to check out tomorrow. So anyway, that's what I'm hoping to do on Saturday. Wouldn't that be cool? I'm gonna be really disappointed if I can't get a ticket to go. But now, because I always find out everything's so damn late, the regular tickets, you just get to walk around, which would be fine. But the premiere tickets, you get to like actually go and like meet the people and sit in the panels and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do a little meet and greet if I'm there. I don't know. Oh my God! One person tweeted me and said, because I put it up on Twitter, and one person tweeted me and said, I'll be there Saturday too. So there's my meet and greet, one person. So when everybody asks me for a meet and greet, I'll be like, well, I did one at Whorehound Festival. Anyway, I'm excited. I hope I can get a ticket. Well, maybe if I contact them and I'm like, hey, listen, I want to vlog the whole thing. Can I buy one of the VIP tickets? Still, the VIP tickets are really not that expensive, you guys. They're like $180 for the whole day or the whole weekend. Bow, 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 bow. So yeah, that's my weekend. And then Sunday we're going to sleep in and relax and go to brunch on Sunday. And then that's about the size of it right now. I am really, okay, I want to finish this stupid book that I'm listening to, Lock Every Door, because it has been forever, but I'm really, like, here's what happens now is that I listen to music on my way home. I start listening to my audiobook, and then I'm like, I can't do it. And so I start listening to music, and then I get home, and I watch an episode of Orange is the New Black, which is so sad this season. And then, the next day I wake up and I'm like, I literally, you guys, I have less than 2 hours of this book. I probably have like an hour and a half now of it. And I want to finish it because you guys want to know what I want to read next. Well, first of all, I have the true crime book for this month to read. But I might save that for while we're in San Diego because I think that, I thought my phone was ringing for a second. I think like that might be a fun book to read during San Diego. I got to figure out or not. We're supposed to go to this music festival. And I got to figure out if I'm going to go to the music festival or not. But anyway, this is the huckleberry. I like the huckleberry. I like the honey too. I'll put a love on. So they're going to be going to a music festival Saturday and Sunday while we're there. Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. I'm either going to go one day or no days. I just have to kind of figure it out. I'm not too worried about it though. Fufu actually sent us a picture of the hotel that we're staying at, and he was like, and it's really like perfect location. And he was like, you guys are not going to be disappointed. Like they walked over there and like took a picture of it for us and stuff, and were like telling us where it's at. They're really excited about us coming out there. I cannot wait to see Fufu and Jesse. They're really, really excited about us coming out there. So that'll be fun. That's at the end of September. And then, you know, I was wanting to take a trip somewhere, but I don't think that we're going to, I think we're going to just probably wait till March. And then we can just save our money and stuff like that, you know? Because we're going to Miami in March. And then we'll probably do a birthday trip or something like that. Oh, we have Las Vegas in May. I also have to figure out about that, about EDC, how I want to do that. Melissa and Jason are going to be out there too. So here's the thing, okay? I've heard that from the Strip to EDC, which is Electric Daisy Carnival, it takes like 4 hours in an Uber. We don't have the money to fly in a helicopter, okay? I don't know that I can sit in an Uber for 4 hours. I just don't know that I can do it for a music festival. I don't know that I care enough to do that. But people are also saying that it's pointless to stay that far away from EDC. So Maya found some place that's like $200 a night or $150 or $119 a night or something like that. These residences that are like 20 minutes. It's gonna stop, hold on. That are like 20 minutes from where EDC is. And it's like this, it's like a 5-floor building or 4-floor building or something like that. I don't know. But it's like a penthouse, 2-bedroom, 2-bath penthouse with this patio that goes all the way around the deck, and there's a pool downstairs. And so like if I went and I wanted to like go one day to EDC and I wanted to lay out the rest, I could do that, you know, and just read by the pool or something. And I'm really thinking that maybe that's what I want to do, because I still want to go on the trip. But I think that way we would really be saving a lot of money. It's so expensive to go and stay on the Strip. We're not going to be going to the Strip anyway, because they're going to be going to the music festival and they're going to be so tired. So, I don't know. We're going to have to see. And Alex doesn't really care anyway. Like, we were talking about it tonight, and he was like, yeah, he was like, I don't really care if, like, where we stay for that trip. So I think we're going to look into like Airbnb in it or doing something like that for EDC. Which would be kind of fun to do something different, you know? So that'll be so maybe Las Vegas won't end up being as expensive as I thought it was going to be, which would then leave us money that we could go somewhere for, for what do you call it? For our birthdays. I had a hair appointment for tomorrow, but I canceled it because I just went like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks and 2 days. I had them look it up. So anyway, I'm not going tomorrow. But I am going to get a Diet Coke right now. So yeah, so that's the rest of my week. Today has been good. I got up today. Oh, do you know what tomorrow is when you guys are watching this? It's Boo Radley and Tucker's 10th birthday today. They're 10 years old today. Well, this is kind of funny, actually, okay? So, at one point, I had it written down in my phone. I had both PB and Boo and Tucker's birthdays written down in my phone. And I had their birthday written down for sometime in July. I think I know the date, but I'm not sure. So I had it written down in my phone, like in the notes. So, like I had babies' birthdays, and then I had like PP, I had like dogs' birthdays, and I had like PP, and then like Boo and Tucker. I call Boo and Tucker the babies. I always say to PP, come on, let's go get your babies. So anyway, I thought it was at like the end of July. So, we got them like right at 6 weeks. And Alex swore like a year ago, he was like, oh no, their birthday's in September. I have it written down in my phone too. And I was like, well, what is it? And he was like, it's September 5th. And I was like, there's no way, Alex. I said that's when there's no way, it can't possibly be. And he was like, yeah, and all this kind of stuff. So tonight, I was like, because I said it like 9 million times that tomorrow's the baby's birthday, you know? And he was like, what did I say to Melissa? She said something about something silly. And I said, but you know what? It isn't. And I said Boo and Tucker's birthday, which is tomorrow. So anyway, Alex said, well, I don't think it's actually their birthday. This is what he said to me tonight. He goes, I don't think it's actually their birthday. He goes, I think it's the day that we got them. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, I think it's the day that we got them. Well, I don't, now I'm like, no, I don't think this is true. Because I'm almost positive we got them in October. I think we got them in October, I'm almost positive. But, which means that September 5th would be their birthday. But we don't know what their birthday is. I'm sure we have it somewhere written down. We'd have to. Well, you know what? I would have it in my phone from my picture. From the very first picture that we ever posted of them on the Facebook. Did I even have Facebook 10 years ago? I'm sure I did. Can you even go back 10 years ago into the Facebook and look up all those pictures? Anyway, they were so cute. They're still so cute. Boo Radley was being so sweet tonight. And little Tucker, so cute and sweet. He and Tucker, he and PB and Boo Radley are wondering now. They're like wondering all over. And if I am not watching them, because you know, like, I'll keep the back door open and they run in and they run out, or usually I sit out there on the patio and I just kind of watch them. There's literally nothing back there. If there's anything going on out there, it's that my neighbor Laura has her dog out there and she's hanging out in the backyard, but there's nothing else. Well, they've been like trying to get into the woods behind our house. And so Pee-Pee goes in there and then Boo follows him. And I was so mad today because I stood there and I was like, I literally was watching them, and then the next second, because they're so little that they can just, you know, go in there. 1 second I'm like watching them, and like I ran into the kitchen and I got like a bottle of water and I grabbed my water thing and I came back out. And Tucker was standing there, but Boo and Pee-Pee were gone. And I go, and I mean, I bolted. I was like, Boo, Pee-Pee, and all of a sudden they just come walking right out of the woods, and I was like, I was so scared. So anyway, they're adventurers. I think part of it is when they go to the kennel, we call it the hotel, they love to just like walk around. Like they're just like, they can just walk around in the backyard, you know, in the play area forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So like, I don't think they're conscious of where they're going in the background sometimes, or backyard. I think they're just following the smells, you know? Somebody said to me one time that, or I read this in a book or something, that when like dogs are smelling like, you know, if your dog stops and smells like the mailboxes where dogs pee and stuff, it's like reading the newspaper to them. Have you ever heard that before? That it's like where they're getting all the news about the dogs in the neighborhood, because like the urine is like information about the dogs. I want a Diet Coke so bad. If I pull through here and they say they're closed down, I'm gonna be bitter.
Thank you for choosing McDonald's. I'll place your order.
Could I get a large Diet Coke, please?
Anything else?
Nope, that is it.
$1.08 first window.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, he sounded super friendly, didn't he? Okay. Here is $1. Change. 5.
Hello, large Diet Coke?
Yeah, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. And yourself?
Good.
That's good.
Scrounging change up. I like your watch.
Oh, thank you.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Have one for Monn. Good morning. How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful morning,
You
sir.
too.
Okay, bye-bye.
God, they were so friendly today. My Lord, I did that. Now I'm feeling bad about my review yesterday where they couldn't get it right. They were so friendly today, weren't they? Loving that. I wonder where my lady is that works in there. I love her so much. She's so sweet. FedEx office, which used to be Kinko's, gives me memories of, I remember being in undergrad school. So my undergraduate degree is in, well, I've talked about this on here before, but is in English, and I was creative writing and literature, but then I was a minor in film studies. So I took like my last, whatever, when I got sober, and then all of that, like before that though, I also took like a lot of writing classes because I had to. And so we would like have to write a short story at the beginning of the week. I think it alternated. I think like that we were like, if there was 20 of us in the group, I think 10 did one week and 10 did the next week. And so like on a Monday, I don't remember how it happened, but like on a Monday you would have to like turn in your stories, right? But you would have to have like copies for everybody in class. So you would have to have like 20 copies. And then on Wednesday, like say if the class was Monday and Wednesday, then on Wednesday, everybody would discuss the stories like out loud and you were critiqued. Which I have to say that experience, you know, was really good for me just in life about learning to take criticism, constructive criticism, because it was never harsh, it was never personal, you know, it was constructive. I think it really taught me in life how to take constructive criticism. But anyway, man, I can remember like writing a story at the last minute and going and making all these copies at Kinko's back in the day and being there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like making these copies and stapling and putting the copies together. I have to say, I do not miss school. I don't. Like, sometimes when I read like, you know, young adult books and stuff like that, I think to myself, I wish I could have gone back, I could go back to high school and maybe be more involved or have had a different experience. You know, high school was such hell for me. The action of being at high school was such hell for me. I had a lot of fun in high school with my friends and stuff, you know, but like at 3:10 when the bell rang and we were on our own. But at school, I hated it. So like, school dances, school activities, all of that stuff. Although I was involved in orchestra, but school activities, school games on a Friday night, I didn't do any of that stuff. And I know maybe it's cheesy, but like, I think in retrospect I would. I think I would go back and participate. I remember seeing this Gigi Gorgeous video when she was in high school, and she said something about, like, you have to participate. You just, like, you know, like, you can't let people keep you from enjoying, you know, high school experience and things like that. And I remember that, like, really, like it impacted me hearing that, because I felt like I allowed other people to keep me from having an experience. But see, if I had gone to the games, if I had gone to all of that, the dances and stuff, I think it would have been more of a hellacious experience. I think people would have been cruel. It was horrible. I don't think, like, I don't know, when I hear about bullying stories and stuff, you know, like, it was horrible, you guys. Like, I don't think anybody really has any idea how horrible it is. Somebody the other day sent me a message or commented on a video. It was like, I would really appreciate if you did a whole video about bullying. And, I've done videos about bullying, and I would do them again in the future. The thing is, I don't live in it today, you know? But, like, I think that's why, to some degree, like, peace and serenity is so important to me, in my life, all around my life, because I don't do real well with, like, something coming out of left field and me not knowing how to deal with it, if that makes sense, in anything. Like, that's why I kind of like the status quo, and, you know, I think that's why I have a lot of social anxiety. You know, okay, for example, like, I'm talking about these music festivals, right? Like, I think a lot of people are just like, oh, well, you should go to the music festival with your husband. It's just like, it's that easy, right? Like, for me, I'm imagining, okay, I can, like, enjoy sitting by, you know, the pool, or taking a walk around San Diego, or going and doing this one night while he goes to music festival. Or I can go and literally be, like, gritting my teeth the entire time because I'm so overwhelmed by the people and being shoved and being pushed. And, like, does that make sense? Like, and I won't know until I get there if that experience is going to be different. Like EDC, I won't, like, Ultra, I love to go to because I know what to expect, because I've been there, right? But before I ever went to Ultra, I was exactly the same way. If it's the new movie theater, I don't like to go. If it's anything new, and, you know, until we were with this counselor that we just, you know, our past counselor that we had, and he and I were in an individual session, and he said to me, has anybody ever suggested to you that you probably suffered some PTSD from being bullied so harshly in high school? And this is the thing, like, it wasn't like bullied being called names. I mean, you guys, it was literally every single day. I had no idea what was going to happen. It was physical. It was, I mean, emotional. It was mental. It was everything that you can possibly imagine. And I literally, I mean, I had no idea where it was going to come from. I was scared to death to go to school. I haven't even told half the stories that have ever happened to me, right? Because I feel like I'm on the other side of that today, and I'm not owned by it. But I didn't maybe realize how it still impacts me today, right? That me walking through life for 12 years, and these were my foundation years too, right? Of being like this, like I literally was like that. Even sitting in a classroom, I was like that. Because kids would take a book and just slam it upside my head as they walked by me. Teachers would do nothing, you know? Kids would, like, push me into it like a cement wall. I mean, it was horrible. And I wasn't telling anybody about it because I was scared if I told somebody it would make it worse. So it was living silently, you know, about this and being scared to death. So when my counselor suggested to me that maybe I was suffering some PTSD as a result, because I had never really maybe worked on specifically that issue, which I felt like I had because, you know, I had met with my bully, my main bully, and he and I are friends today, and, you know, I had forgiven him, and, you know, and we sat and talked, and he explained to me why he did what he did and all of that kind of stuff, and I really didn't harbor any hatred in my heart. But the after effects, right? Really, it doesn't have anything to do with how hard I've worked through it or not. Like, PTSD is a very real thing. You know, it's like telling somebody that's gone through some horrible, tragic event, you know, that's shell-shocked from it, that when they hear certain sounds, will just move on, just get over it, you know? It's really not about that, and it's really not about how much work you do. You can do as much work as you want, but still, you're gonna have some effects from it, and that's what I learned by he and I doing some pretty extensive work on it, and I'm thankful for that, you know? And I'm aware of it today, and I think that's the thing, is that the awareness is huge for me. That when I'm apprehensive about doing something, I look at it and I go, okay, so why am I apprehensive about it? Because this is what I would have done 5 or 6 years ago, right? If we were gonna go to a music festival, I would have said, like in San Diego, I would have said, I don't wanna go. And then I would have said, I don't wanna go to San Diego. Because what I would have done was, my fear of going to the music festival, because my fear of not knowing what that was gonna be, would keep me from wanting to go out there and even have to possibly deal with it, which would keep me from not wanting to go to San Diego, which kept me from living. But today I don't do that. And today in my head, what I say is, at least go one day. You know, at least, and that's what I'll do, is I'll go the first day, is at least go one day and see if you enjoy it. You may wanna go all the days. And that's what I'll do with EDC probably too, you know? But still, it takes me some working up to get there. You know, social anxiety is this kind of thing that's real interesting. It's like, you know, and I know a lot of people don't even believe that it exists, but when you live in it, you know it exists, right? And it's like, you can't really explain it to somebody unless they've been through it. You just can't. And, YouTube has been fantastic for me, though, in helping me deal with it, you know? I mean, it just really, really has. And I don't know if you guys remember, but like, it was like last year at the Halloween party, Aaron's Halloween party that I went to. Like that Halloween party, every year in the past, I've been so hesitant to go to. I've been so scared to go to. I mean, Erin is one of my dearest friends, you know? And I'm always like, well, who's gonna be there? Who's gonna be there? And she's like, I want you to be there. Like, you're my friend, I want you to be there. And last year we went and I had a blast, you know? It's like, every time I go to something, it was funny, Melissa and Jason were like, you guys are so tan tonight. I don't feel like I'm tan at all. Every time I end up going to something that I'm hesitant about going to, I end up having a blast. Like, I end up having the time of my life, right? But I have to be willing to go there and do it. That's a lot of what I've been working on with my sponsor lately is, you know, removing myself from 100 forms of fear, as the book talks about, you know, and like not being so scared. And really looking at what that fear is about, and the fear is about the unknown, and that unknown goes back to me. And I mean, I wonder sometimes too, you know, like, I see people walk into rooms and they're like, hey, like, I own the room. They've got that swag, you know what I mean? And I don't have that. And I don't feel that when I walk into a room of people I don't know. I often feel like I have my head down, and, you know, even though I've had so many sponsors that's, you know, my old sponsor used to say, you're a person of character, hold your head up high. But when I see somebody like that, I wondered to myself, what was their first grade experience like? You know, what made them able to walk into a room feeling like they own it? And what made me walk into a room feeling like nobody likes me? Because that comes from something, right? And you want to talk about learned behaviors versus like born behaviors? That's a learned behavior. I really do. I think we cultivate that stuff in kindergarten, first and second grade. I really, really do, you know? I look back on my high school experiences, and some of the guys that walked in the classrooms, you know, like, you want to talk about big D energy, okay, that acted like they had big D energy, were the guys that in first grade were sitting at the head of the lunch table. True story. You know, I look back on that, and it's like it carried them through all the way through. Well, I was made fun of, you know, I was demasculated, I was everybody put down over and over and over again, constantly, you know, living in fear. But today, the difference is, I don't want that to have any control. You know, the thing is that those people aren't thinking about me. They're not, I mean, I in my head right now, you guys, as I'm talking about this, I have names in my head. Like, I know who they are. Like, I remember them. I can see them in my head. Like, because that's how much I suffered as a result of all of that. You know, so when people want to minimize my experience, I'm like, minimize my experience all you want, okay? But that was first grade. I'm 47 years old. It's been 40 years and it's still having an effect on me. And don't tell me that I need to do some work on it. I have done years and years and years and years and years and years of work on it. Good work, strong work, healthy work, inventory, evaluation. I've looked at my part in all of that. I have done a lot of forgiveness, a lot of love. You know, that's what I realized today, is that there's going to be parts of that that are going to always be with me. There just are, you know? But I wonder, like, I would like to get to the point where I walk into a room and I feel confident. But I also don't want it to be false confidence, you know? I don't know. You know, I'm not where I was a year ago. I'm not where I was 2 years ago as far as my confidence. If you watch my first year of my vlog, I didn't even want to go to stuff with my husband. You guys remember? It was huge. It was like a huge deal. And I would get a lot of comments and people would be like, oh, you should just try. You should just go to something with your husband and make him happy and whatever. I'm like, people don't understand. Like, they don't get it. Like, people just don't get this. Like, this isn't about just suiting up and showing up. This is about absolute, like, fear. Like, if you're afraid of, like, a roller coaster, right? And I'm, like, forcing you to go on a roller coaster. It's like that. Like, I don't think people really get it unless you go through social anxiety. It's not just like, oh, you should go do this. Like, it's absolute fear inside. You know, and that was when I started talking to, like, Melissa and Alex specifically about it, because it was affecting those two relationships, and Alex was extremely supportive. And then, out of the blue, we get this counselor that starts working with me, you know? And I don't believe in coincidence. And I believe he was put in my life for a reason. And I start working on, you know, PTSD issues. And I start working on, you know, social anxiety and fear and tools and skills to work through that. And today, I don't question going and doing things and participating in them, you know? Like, I just don't. Now, I might still have fear. And I might still not want to go to it, like the music festival, and be unsure of what it's going to be like, you know? The other thing is, though, that's different is that back then, I would make excuses. Like, I would say, oh, I don't want to do this because of that, or I don't want to do this because of this. Now I will just say, like, if I don't want to go to the music festival when we get out there, I'm kind of like, right now, I'm kind of just like iffy about it. The other thing is, this is a smaller music festival. I don't love going to music festivals when I'm the oldest man there. Like, that's not fun for me. So, like, what I've told Alex is, I'm not sure yet I'm going to go to the music festival. And I said, but I'll probably go the first day. And he was like, that's okay, babe. He was like, you go to what you want to go to. He was like, you know, it is what it is. And he was like, I just want you to have fun in San Diego, too. So, like, it takes away the weirdness of having the conversation, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Because he supports me and I support him, and then we're, you know, completely being forthright with whatever. Like, in talking about EDC, hold on, it's going to stop. Like, in talking about EDC, he's like, what's keeping you from wanting to go to EDC? And I said, absolutely one thing. And he goes, what is it? And I said, I mean, because EDC, it is not the social fear for me. Because I've seen pictures, I know what it's like. We're getting VIP tickets if we go. We weren't going to, but now we're going to, because Melissa and Jason are. And they're cheaper than every, like, other music festival that we go to. And I heard the experience is pretty nice. And I only said from the beginning that I was probably going to only go one day or one night. So, for me, it's about, I don't want to sit in an Uber for 4 hours, you know? And Alex looked at me and goes, well, I get it, you know what I mean? So I don't know, we'll have to see. It's crazy to me that the things that happen to us when we're younger, you know, I think to some degree it's like, well, it's crazy that it has an impact on us. I think that I have a hard time using, like, the word abuse in response to being bullied, because it's a power differential for me, and then I'm handing over my power to these people that I didn't even really know. You know what I mean? Like, I was only around them 6 or 7 hours a day. But that's really what it was. And but I have to say, in all honesty, I don't know what was worse, the bullying or the being like the living in silence about it, like nobody knowing that I mean, people at school had to have known it was going on, right? But the like my parents didn't know. Like, I didn't talk to my friends about it. I didn't have a counselor that I talked about it, you know? But, you know, I will tell you what's interesting is that I always had, like, a counselor, like, once, well, but it was for, like, divorce issues. Like, my parents had me in these counselors that I always hated them. I always hated them. I'm not a real big believer, unless your kid has gone through something, like, and this is just my personal opinion, because I lived through going to a lot of counselors as a kid. I hated all of them. I hated all of my counselors. I didn't understand why I was there. I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing with these counselors in my office. They were doing, like, having me play games, and it was just BS. It was just such a waste of money, and it was just such a waste of time. And really, I would have been much happier if, like, I don't know, my dad would have taken me out, and, like, and he did do this stuff, you know, and taken me out to dinner and been like, you know, buddy, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and really asked some questions, and my mom too, but the thing is, it's weird, is like, I always went to these counselors for, like, divorce stuff, because they thought I was, like, majorly impacted on divorce. I must have just been a really sad kid or something. I don't know, you know, like, I never really asked my mom that. And my dad and I, like, the few times I've talked to him about it, he's like, I don't know. He was like, you know, I don't really, and he's somebody that if he did know, like, and he did remember, he would tell me. He remembers the doctors, he remembers who he met with, because he would say, you know, we would go in there afterwards, and he goes, that was the one thing that I didn't like, is that the doctors always wanted, he didn't like that the doctors, the counselors would want to talk to them alone without me. Because he was like, I think what that was sending a message to you is that what you were saying wasn't private, you know? And, but, you know, like, my parents always, I mean, I feel blessed to have had, I mean, sure, my mom, you know, had drinking problems. My parents, drinking problems, she was an alcoholic, but, you know, my parents were divorced and whatever, but I had really, really loving parents. I mean, they were really involved. It's almost baffling to me that they did not know that I was bullied. And, you know, it's even almost more baffling to me that as involved as they were with my school, you know, my mother was there all the time, that for PTA things and whatever, then what that means is that teachers were not communicating to my parents what they were witnessing in the classroom. Because I know for a fact that teachers saw it, because I had conversations with teachers about it. And they would say, I had female teachers say to me, you need to just man up, or you need to toughen up. I mean, if I told you the things that I had teachers say to me through the years, it would just blow your mind. I'm talking about in 3rd grade, okay? You need to man up. In 3rd grade, maybe not hang out with the girls on the, you know, hanging upside down on the jungle gyms at recess. Things like that. Maybe not be on the swings. Maybe you should play sports with the boys. Things like that. So, you know, and okay, this is in the 80s, and it was a different time and a different era. I get it, but I don't think that compassion has a time limit on it, or a period, you know, a time period. And, so, you know, like, I have asked my dad that, and he said, no, your teachers never once said anything to us, never once in 12 years did they ever say. And he goes, and I was at every PTA meeting. My dad he was extremely involved, and so was my mother, and they never said anything. My dad had to deal with my car being screwed with, my locker being screwed with. My dad was the one that dealt with all that stuff, because my dad came in there and he was not having his kids screwed with. He just wasn't. He had it. But the teachers wouldn't really deal with it. Like, they wouldn't, like, the dean and stuff would just kind of say things to my dad about it, and they wouldn't really, you know, like, my hair, see, it looked nice earlier. But, like, did the teachers call my parents and say, like, Peter is being horrifically bullied? Like, you might want to watch him at home to see if he's okay, or you might want to get him in with a counselor to see if he should be talking. Like, no, those conversations never occurred in 12 years, okay? In 12 years of me being horrifically bullied, pushed into walls in front of teachers, walls where my nose was bleeding, okay? My locker, words, horrible words written on a regular basis, my car screwed with, you know, my clothes torn, my clothes taken, my bag taken, everything that you can imagine happened to me. And not one teacher ever called my parents and let them know what was going on. Baffling. Absolutely baffling to me. So when schools want to tell me that today they have bullying policies and stuff, call me into your school. Let me see how you're handling your bullying policy. I'll tell you if I think you're handling it appropriately as somebody that, you know, was bullied. And you know, today we live in a different world. You know, my cousin Caroline and I, you know, she was 3 years older than me, and she went to so I went to Carmel High School, she went to North Central, and she went to, the high school that she went to was like the rival of my high school, and she was 3 years older. Well, Caroline was the most popular girl in her grade. I mean, we couldn't have been more different, right? Never affected our relationship. We were so close to each other, you know? But Caroline and I have talked a lot about this, and in all honesty, like, you know, today we hear, I mean, I feel like I hear stories all the time about kids taking their lives, attempting to take their lives. You know, LGBT kids, the suicide rate is the highest in our country and things like that. I don't remember that being, for me, an option. I don't remember thinking about it. I do remember thinking to myself, I don't know how I'm going to make it through high school. Like, I do remember thinking to myself, I can't tell my parents. I don't want to keep on going to school. I don't want to drop out of school because I wanted my education, you know. But being scared, on top of all of that, not even being able to imagine how I could ever have some kind of life being attracted to who I wanted to be attracted to. It was in 1990. You know, 87, 88, or 88, 89, and 90. It was hell. And what's funny is the takeaway from that, like how I started this whole conversation, is that I go back and I think to myself, well, I wish I could go back to high school so I could participate more, you know? Isn't that funny? That's what I wish, is that I could go back to high school and participate more in high school. Oh my God. Because I feel like I got cheated out of the high school experience. I don't know, maybe I'm tougher and stronger than I thought I was. Maybe that is what I needed to hear from those teachers, toughen up, you know? I sure didn't toughen up. I hid out in libraries, I hid out in bathrooms during lunches, you know? I will say this, that it could be much worse because, well, I don't know if I would say could be much worse, but there are people that I went to high school with. I think I've shared one of the stories on here, and that was probably the worst of it. I don't really want to get into a whole lot of them, and I'm not going to. But I will say this, if I wanted to get on here and say the people's names, the way that they treated me and what they did to me, I would feel completely justified to do that, but I would never do that. But there are a few, I will say just a few, people that I went to high school with that, like, this is the thing you have to understand. I wasn't out in high school. Like, people thought I was out, but I wasn't out, right? There were a few people that thought, guys, jocks, that thought that they were gay, I guess, but didn't want anybody to know, and pursued me. But it was very weird. It was in a bullying way, like, this is what I want, but if you tell anybody, I'll beat your ass kind of thing. Or it still to this day baffles my mind. It makes absolutely no sense. Because had that person approached me, you know, I remember I read like the Geography Club, you know, by Brent Hardiger, who's like, I consider him a friend, and he really helped me in my writing process. You know, and his books are all about this relationship between Russell Middlebrook, is that his name, Russell Middlebrook? And this baseball player named Kevin. And it starts in high school and it goes all the way until they're like in their late 20s and they get married and stuff like that, right? It's this whole series. Like, had I been approached by one of these jockish kind of guys in a different way, like, hey, I really like you, could we like spend some time together? You know, like, or, hey, do you want to hang out or whatever? Instead of like, you do this or I'm going to beat your ass kind of thing. Which, let's just be for real. Like, let's call that for what it is. Okay? You know, and I look back, and I have looked these people up, like, in the last year, and they're not out. And I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was curiosity. I don't know if that was experimentation. I don't know what that was. But they are not out, and I wonder to myself, you know, like, have you truly been living for 30 years of your life in some closet because you're so afraid of the world accepting you for who you are? At least I'm not there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least I'm not there. And that's where I can find a little bit of sympathy in my heart for them. You know, listen, it's been 30 years. I don't hold the kind of grudges and the resentment that I used to have. I don't get it. Like, for me, it's more confusion than anything else. I'm pissed at the fact that, like, 30 years later, I'm still dealing with being afraid that fear rules my life. Okay? That's what I'm pissed about. But I'm not pissed about what happened. I'm pissed about how it's affected me. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I'm pissed that it's not even me allowing it to have some control over me. It's that it innately does. And I don't know what to do about that. And I've done so much work on it. And it's like, there's not really anything else I can do except for continuing to work through these times when it happens, when this fear arises in me, you know? That's what pisses me off. But I'm not pissed at the people. You know, hell, like, they were young. I don't know what was going through their mind. I don't know what, you know? "30 years is a long time to hate somebody." I don't want to hate somebody for that long. I don't want to hate somebody for a year. I don't really, to be in all honesty, there's not really anybody that I dislike so strongly that I could say that I hate today in my life. I just don't have. You know what? It's interesting to me because it's really like I have a lot of indifference in my life to people. I have a lot of indifference to people that really, I feel like, hurt me, or we never worked things out or had closure in the last year or 5 years or 10 years or 20 years ago. You know, I mean, I have like a lot of indifference. I have no emotional attachment to them. So it's like when something happens, I'm like, well, I don't really have any emotional attachment to that today. Does that make sense? Like, I don't have any emotional attachment to what happened to me 30 years ago, to the people that did the things that they did 30 years ago to me. What I have an emotional attachment to is the fact that I still have this fear that just kicks into place because it's my defense mechanism. That it pisses me off because I feel like controlled by it. And like I say, it's really nothing that you can understand unless you've gone through it yourself. Like, if you're listening to this and you have social anxiety, you're like, I totally understand what he's saying. Like, this makes 100% sense to me. I was bullied. I get it, right? It's like a reflex. It's like, you know, it's like you hear a loud bang and you're like, boom, you know, it's like that. It's like that kind of thing, right? But if you've never gone through it before, you're like, just get over it. Like, I understand. I've had friends of mine that have looked at me and just been like, I don't know why you just allow this stuff to keep on bothering you. And I'm like, well, do you think I like living like that? Like, I mean, come on. Like, no, that's no way to live. I don't want to live that way. I'm almost 50 years old. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I need to start acting as if. Maybe I just need to throw it out the window and just have big D energy, you know? Maybe I just need to be who I am, which is what I've been doing for a while now, and it seems to be working and make me happy. Maybe I'll always live with fear, and that's kind of what I've accepted at this point, you know, is that to some degree, I probably will always have a certain amount of fear in my life of not knowing what's happening next, because that's how I woke up every day for 12 years. What's going to happen today? I never knew, you know, and I still have that to some degree. It was weird because yesterday I was kind of like, I woke up. I woke up yesterday in a shit mood. I just was like, I don't know if it was from emotionally going through the bunch of recovery stuff throughout the weekend or whatever, but I woke up yesterday and I was just in a shit mood. And do you ever have, I mean, I really, to be honest, don't have that many days like that anymore. I just don't, you know? And I really realized that I don't have that many days because I woke up yesterday, I was just like, you know what I mean? It was like everything was pissing me off. off. I was like trying to film a video. I was like, there she is out in the backyard with her dog. Doesn't she know I'm trying to film a video? I was like that, like, you know, like I own the backyard or something. And it was funny because I was talking to Tanya about it on the way home last night, and I got her laughing so hard because I just was so like, but she knew I was joking too. But I woke up yesterday and like, I don't really wake up in a surly mood very often. I don't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I used to a lot. I don't anymore, you know? And so I woke up. I want to see what that place is called. It said a model for talent or something. Model A Talent. I feel like I know somebody that used to be a model at this place called Model A Talent, but it's either Model A or Model 4 Talent. I'm like, let's see what it says. Motorcycle man has somewhere to go. But anyway, there's also this little place called Metro Diner that I've wanted to go to forever. But I woke up today. Here, let's drive back in here and see what it says. Oh, model and talent. What does that mean? I think I might want to be a model and talent. I don't know, but in that office over there, this is so funny. You can see where they have, on the wall, they have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 9 of those things that have people's, what do you call them? What are they called? Well, it's just like their picture on the front and their information on the back. I might go in there and I'll be like, so I don't know if you know me, but I'm Peter Monn. I'm YouTube famous, and I'm here to be a model and talent. Can you even imagine? One of my things is that I'm talking to a lot of the public, and by the public I mean baristas and people that sit outside of coffee shops and fast food places, in my review channel. And so it's getting me really comfortable in like talking to people like in the public. And I kind of have fun doing it and getting people's responses. It's funny. So anyway, what was I gonna say though? Damn it, Janet. I don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I need to just act as if, you know, but like I don't want to do that either. I don't know. I think it's just continuing to work on it. I'm not where I was, you know, 2 or 3 years ago. Like YouTube's really helped me with that a lot, in that I totally lost my train of thought. It doesn't matter. I've rambled on long enough about this anyway. But you know, like, just to like end this, to explain it, you know, like when you say like, there's like the recovery saying like, don't let people rent space in your head for free, you know? And what that means is like, you're thinking about somebody or something when they're not even thinking about you, right? Or the whole idea of that, like, you know, that you're consumed with something. Well, I don't want to be. You know what I mean? I don't want to think about what happened to me. And I have to say, like, I will say this. I was talking about my day. But I have to say this, like, there have been periods in my life in the last, you know, 20, 30 years when, like, I think about it a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I really think about certain specific things that have happened to me. I think those are maybe emotional scars that, like, or wound, like, you know, scars that come out at times when similar things happen in my life. So I think that makes sense. The way that my sponsor explained that to me, the sponsor that I have now, that I've had for like the last 2.5, 3 years, is that, well, 2.5 years, is that, those emotional scars, when they present themselves, are opportunities for growth, to work on that issue that came up back then, and to look at, when was the last time I felt that way? Okay, then when was the last time I felt that way? And when was the last time I felt that way? And you unbox and you go all the way back until it originally happened, and you look at what happened that original first time, and then that's what happens. And that's what I've been doing. And there's been a lot of situations that I've been able to work through, and that's why I don't feel the way that I did, you know? And I don't know, maybe by 60 I'll feel like I don't have a lot of this stuff anymore. anymore, but I'm working on it, you know, I'm working as hard as I can. I'm a work in progress, as we say, you know, like, I'm hoping I get there one day, and I don't live in fear. But this is what I was going to say, was I woke up yesterday, I was in such a surly, shitty mood, I literally woke up on the wrong side of the bed for no reason whatsoever, right? And then today, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I was half asleep, and I took the dogs outside, and I brought the dogs inside, and I gave PPS medicine, and I was gonna go get coffee and run some errands and stuff, and I put Boo and Tucker in their house, and so I was walking outside, and it was like a beautiful early fall day, and I was walking out to my car, and I was just like, do you ever do this? Do you ever you wake up and you're just in a shit mood? And I literally stopped in the driveway, and I looked up, and it was because we have lawn service in our neighborhood that does our lawns, and there was this guy that was mowing the lawn 3 houses down, and there was some squirrel in the neighbor's yard, and I just stopped in a moment, and I was just in the driveway, and I just looked at everything around me, and there was some construction workers that are working in the lakes in our neighborhood, and I just took a deep breath, and I looked up, and I was like, it is a beautiful day. We are not doing this again today. We are not doing this again today. We are going to have an enjoyable day. We're going to be grateful for the things that we have. We're going to be peaceful and serene, and we're letting this go right then. And I got in my car, and I started listening to some music I had downloaded, and I mean to tell you, I was in the most amazing mood, right after that, you know? And that's that whole idea of you can start your day over whenever you want. And I do believe that with all of these things I've talked about tonight, fear, social anxiety, having a horrible day when you wake up or whatever, is that you can stop in the moment and you can say, to what extent do I want to choose to allow this to affect me today? You know, today. Oh, it's going to stop. Hold on. I can say to myself, to what degree do I want to allow this to affect myself, right? So, if my social anxiety is coming out and I have to go to a Halloween party, I know that I'm going to enjoy the Halloween party once I go, or if I don't, I can always leave, you know? If I'm at a music festival and I don't love being there, I can get an Uber and go back. I don't have to stay there, right? But at least try it. At least try it for the experience with my husband, you know? At least try to do something different that I might end up loving and want to come back to every single year, you know? It's all about that, you know? When I have those old feelings creep up of fear, call my sponsor. You know, process it with her. Ask myself, to what degree do I want to allow myself to live in fear today on September 5th? How much do I want to live in fear today? I don't want to live in it at all. So what do I need to work through it today? What do I need to do to work through today any issues that come my way so I can have the most blessed life today and live in gratitude and amazement today? So I just wanted to explain to you guys how I use those tools. Like I said it, I was talking about this in my Peterisms videos today. It's not like I wake up every day and I'm like, oh, peace and serenity, I feel so wonderful. I mean, I think people think that. No, that's not it. I wake up some days and I'm like, I can wake up and become consumed with something that happened to me 20 years ago. I really can. One thing can happen, or I can see one thing. Have you ever woken up and it's somebody will say something on Facebook and you're like, oh, really? Well, you want me to remind you, you MFer, of 10 years ago when it's what did I just do? Why did I just, you know what I mean? And that's when I have to stop myself in my tracks and go, not today. Not today. This isn't, I'm exchanging a day of my life for this, you know? But I think these are all really real, honest, emotional, human feelings, you know, that we're going to feel. So anyway, I have rambled on about all kinds of things today. This has been, actually though, I have to tell you, this has been a really good vlog for me tonight. So thank you for listening. It's been really cathartic for me to kind of talk some of these things out and get them out. And, you know, I was thinking about this tonight earlier when I was thinking about looking at our weekend and then next week and whatever. And I love fall and winter because it's a lot of you know, Alex will go out to dinner twice a week with friends or whatever. And then we sit inside and watch a lot of movies and TV shows, and we travel a little bit here and there, but not a whole lot, you know, and it's just a lot of time at home. And I was thinking to myself, there was just this moment when I was, Alex and I, we want to watch Monn. We were talking about that. And then he was wanting to watch the remake of Aladdin. And so we were talking about watching a movie sometime this weekend, maybe on Sunday or something. And I thought to myself, I had this moment where it's like, so you all know that I have like migraine disorder with my epilepsy, and I've talked about, I don't know if you know it or not, but I do have migraine disorder and my head hurts a lot. Like there's not a day that goes by that I don't have some kind of, well, what I would equate to a headache for you, because it's hard to explain it. It's pressure in my head. So I had a moment tonight, like after dinner, when my head didn't hurt at all, which I don't know why. It doesn't hurt right now. It feels very, it's kind of scary to me sometimes when, oh my God, the battery's gonna die. Sometimes when my head doesn't hurt at all, because it's sometimes a sign of like, that I've had a seizure, like, or seizure activity. It's weird. And that's how my neurologist has explained it to me, but it's usually like you feel really, really good, like almost euphoric, like after you have a seizure. But I felt really good tonight, and like my head just feels clear tonight. And I was like, you know what, like I really just, I mean, I say it all the time, but like I really felt it. I was like, I have such a great life. Like I have such an amazing life. I'm so thankful for my life, and I feel so blessed. And yeah. This vlog was really good for me tonight. Thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna get off here now before the battery dies. Let's see, tomorrow is Thursday. I hope you are having an amazing Thursday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Enjoy it. If you're having a crappy day, start it over. You can start your day over whenever you want. Do something today that is fun, and take a little bit of a risk, and do something different today. And don't forget, you can start your day over if you're having a crappy day, and like I did. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and tell yourself, I love you, and tell yourself positive things about yourself, positive affirmations. And most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know how important they are to you. It doesn't matter who it is. It can be a coworker at work, it could be your supervisor, it could be a friend, it could be your kid, whatever. Leave them a little note in their lunchbox or on their desk and just say, hey, thank you for being my friend. I appreciate it. You mean a lot to me. Just a little thing that will brighten somebody's day. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my vlog. It means the world to me. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.